learn how to play the book data to download the data for further analysis. For this playing and downloading of the Google footprint data, which is freely available, we have to do some, or we have to write some script, and we need a file, or more specifically the area of interest for which we want to download the data. So for that, or for downloading the data, first we have to import the shapefile that we have already uploaded in the Google Earth Engine project. So for that we have to go to this asset part, then we have to click on the name of the shapefile that we have already uploaded, and which will be used as a study area. So after clicking on the name of the study area, then you have to click on this import function. So it will import the study area shapefile to Google Earth Engine platform, and then we can change this name, or we can give a name to this imported shapefile. And here I am giving this ROI data, ROI name for the importing study area shapefile. So after importing this shapefile data into Google Earth Engine script area, then we have to import the Google building footprint version 3 data, and that will be imported as a variable. So we have to create a variable, and for creating the variable, the function is var. After putting this var function, then we have to assign a name for the imported data, or for importing building footprint data. So the name will be building, or you may choose any other name for this data. So after giving the name of this data, we have to assign which data will be saved as this name. So for that we have to go to this Google Earth Engine data catalog platform, and from where we can, if we search open building polygons, then show this data set, and from here we can get the code which will bring all the data into this new script or new Google Earth Engine platform. So we have to copy this code. This code is for importing the data, importing this specific data, and now we can paste this code here, and after pasting this code we have to put a semicolon for ending this line of code. Secondly, this code imports all the data for the whole world. So now our task is reduce the data for our specific study area only, and the data which will be reduced to our study area only, for our study area we have to put a name. Similarly, we have to put a variable, or we have to create a variable, and then we have to put a name of this variable. So building, we are putting building AOI, or building DMC, as we are getting we are bringing the data for Durgapur Municipal Corporation. Similarly, we have to put a equal to sign for assigning the data, and for reducing the data, first we have to put the name of the data that we have imported earlier, that means this building data. So we have to write this name of the data, and then we can put a dot for adding a new function, and as we are reducing the data for our study area, so we have to use the filter bounds function of Google Earth Engine. So now we have to write filter bounds, and within this bracket we have to put the name of the shapefile, study area shapefile, which we have given earlier as a, or imported earlier as a variable. So the name will be ROI. Similarly, we have to end this code, line of code, with a semicolon. Next, this data we have to export in our Google Drive, because we have imported the building footprint polygon data into Earth Engine platform, and we have reduced the data for specifically for our study area. Now we have to export this data, and for exporting this data, as this data is a shapefile, we have to export it as a table, and the data will be exported into our Google Drive. and for that we need a specific folder, or we have to create a specific folder in our Google Drive, in which folder the data will be stored. So the code for exporting the data is export dot table, as the shapefile data will export as a table for table data dot to drive, followed by a first bracket and a third bracket. Now we have to assign, or we have to identify which data we want to export. For that we have to give the function of collection, and we have to assign the name, or we have to provide the name of this collection. So in that case, collection name will be building DMC, because this is the reduced data. So we can copy this name and we can paste it here for our safety, and then we have to put a comma. In second line we have to put the description of the data. This description will be used for creating a name of the exported data, and within a single inverted comma we have to give this name. So we are giving building underscore DMC. Similarly we have to put a comma, and in the next line we have to put the name of the folder. And for providing the name of the folder, earlier we have to create a folder name. So we have created this folder name, that is building footprint, in our Google Drive. So within the single inverted comma we are putting the name of the folder that we have already created. Lastly, we have to put the file format. The file format will be GeoJSON, followed by a comma, and then after ending this code put a semicolon. Now if we click on this run button, it will run, and in the taskbar will get a name of the data that we have provided in the description. So if we click on this run option, then it will show all the information about the data, and then we have to click on this run button for exporting the data into Google Drive. So now you can see this data is exporting, and it takes less than 1 minute till now. It will take 3 minutes or 4 minutes depending on the internet speed and the amount of data that you are exporting. So for that we have to wait for some time, so that the whole amount of data can be data is exported into our Google Drive folder. So after downloading this data, we have to convert this GeoJSON file into a shape file, so that we can use it for different research related purposes or different study related purposes. So how we can utilize this data? So this data can be utilized for making 3D data, 3D building data. Although the height of the buildings are not provided in the shape file or in the polygon data that will be downloaded, so we have to additionally put all the building heights for creating a 3D building area. Otherwise we can use it for calculating building density or any other kind of data that may be derived, that can be derived from building footprint areas. So for exporting the data, you have to wait for another 1 or 2 minutes, within which the data will be exported into Google Drive. So it's a great data that is provided by the Google, because this building footprint, and if you look into this data after downloading the data, then you will find that the data is very much accurate. So I have tested the data after downloading on some specific area, and I have found that it almost cover all the buildings. It may be a small building or it may be a large building, because this data is generated from a very high resolution satellite images. So and through different deep learning uh, models. So it provides a very accurate data which can be utilized for precise analysis of building density, uh, building configuration, urban morphology, and many more. Or it may be it also can be utilized for urban planning purposes. So it's a very useful and excellent data that is available in Google Earth Engine platform, and the downloading and displaying of the data is very much easy. So you can easily found that from a 3-line code which is publicly available, you can download the data and utilize the data for your purposes, your research purposes, for visualization of your area building density. So now the data is exported into Google Drive folder, and now you can find this building DMC data, which we have given the name for exporting the data. Now we can click, if we click on this, it will show the download option. From there we can download the data to a computer, and then we can convert the data from GeoJSON to shapefile for utilizing this data for calculating any building related parameters. We will start downloading in few seconds. I think the size of the data is about 100 MB, so it will take about 1 minute to download, or it will the download speed depends on its internet speed. That's all